There are moments in life when everything shifts. Sometimes these moments arrive unexpectedly, a meeting, a conversation, a thought, an event, something that catches you off guard. And in that instant, everything is different. The day your life changes isn't always something you can predict, but you can prepare for it. Let me repeat that. You can prepare for the moment when everything transforms. I want you to reflect on something. Have you ever experienced a moment where you knew deep down that there was no going back? That life as you knew it would never be the same? That's what we're discussing today. It's about that pivotal point in your life. Maybe you've already had one or two of these moments, or perhaps one is just around the corner. Either way, the beauty of real change is this. Once it happens, once you commit to a lasting transformation, it's like stepping onto a new path, one filled with fresh opportunities and a better future. I think back to one of those moments in my own life. At 25 years old, I was working on a farm, broke, with just pennies in my pocket and little to show for my efforts. I reached a point where I started questioning, is this it? Is this what life is meant to be? Then something happened. I had a conversation with a man named Mr. Schoaf, and that conversation changed everything. Sometimes the day your life changes begins with a mentor, someone who has what you aspire to, someone who has walked the path you're about to take. And Mr. Schoaf told me, if you want things to change, if you want your life to be different, you must do things differently. That might sound simple, but to me it was a revelation. Up until that moment, I had been blaming everything outside of myself for my lack of success, the economy, the government, my circumstances. But Mr. Schoaf made one thing clear: my life would only change when I took responsibility for it. And that's where I want to start today. The day your life truly changes is the day you take responsibility for where you are and where you're headed. Not everyone likes to hear that. It's easy to believe that our circumstances are someone else's fault. It's comforting to say, it's not my fault, it's the economy. It's not my fault, it's my upbringing. It's not my fault, I didn't get the right opportunities, I get it, I've been there. But as long as you hold on to those excuses, nothing will change. Here's the reality. We all start from different places. Some people begin life with more advantages than others. That's just the reality. But what truly matters isn't where you start, it's what you do with where you are. There's a powerful quote that says, it's not what happens to you that determines your future, it's how you respond to it. And that's the truth. Your life changes the moment you decide to take control. The day you stop being a passenger and take the wheel is the day everything shifts. You have to make the conscious decision to steer your life in a new direction. The moment you stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen, that's the moment real change begins. Ask yourself, are you waiting? Are you waiting for someone else to come along and change your life? Are you waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions? Because here's the reality, that perfect moment will never come. If you keep waiting for everything to fall into place before taking action, you'll be waiting forever. You have to decide that today is the day and start making progress with what you have right now. Here's another key truth. Your life truly changes when you start working on yourself more than anything else. When I was younger, I used to believe that success was something you had to chase, something you had to run after before someone else got to it first. But that's not how it works. Success isn't something you pursue, it's something you attract by becoming the right person. Let me repeat that. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So if you want your life to change, you must first change yourself. That means developing your skills, expanding your mindset, and committing to personal growth every single day. It's not about waiting for the world to change so you can get ahead. It's about focusing on improving yourself so that when opportunity comes, and it will come, you're ready for it. The real question is, will you be prepared when that moment arrives? And that brings me to another key point. The day your life truly changes is the day you commit to setting real, meaningful goals. Not vague wishes or daydreams, but specific, concrete objectives. Goals that you write down, plan for, and work toward every single day. Without goals, life can easily drift by. You wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat the cycle without direction, without purpose. Early in my journey, I met a man who was incredibly successful, not just financially, but in his health, relationships, and every area of life. I asked him, how did you do it? How did you create this amazing life? His response was something I'll never forget. He said, I learned a long time ago that if I didn't design my own life, someone else would design it for me. And trust me, they don't have much planned for you. That hit me hard. Because he was right. If you don't take charge of your own goals and direction, you'll end up following someone else's plan. And that's no way to live. The moment your life changes is the moment you take full control of your future. You decide what you want, create a plan, and pursue it with everything you got. Now, you might be thinking, but I've tried setting goals before, and it didn't work. I didn't stick with it. I get it. Most people struggle with sticking to their goals. You know why? Because their why isn't strong enough. See, if your goals are only about what you want, that won't be enough to keep you going. Your goals need to be connected to a deeper purpose, something that truly moves you, something that excites you, something that gets you out of bed in the morning with energy and drive. The day your life changes is the day you discover your why. It's the moment you stop being motivated by what you should do and start being driven by what you must do. A young man once came to me and said, I want to make $1 million. I asked him why. He replied, well, I think it would be nice to have that kind of money. I told him that's not a strong enough reason. You need something deeper. What will that money do for you? Who will you help? Because when your why is strong enough, nothing will stop you. What kind of life will you create, and why must you create it? Not just as a wish, but as a necessity. That's the key. You need a strong enough reason why. Because if you don't, when challenges arise, and they will, you'll give up. The day your life changes is the day you discover that deep, driving reason that pushes you forward no matter what. There's something else that happens on that day too. It's the day you stop letting fear hold you back. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that prevent people from changing their lives. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But here's what I've learned. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. There's a story about a man who spent his entire life afraid to step outside his comfort zone. He stayed in the same town, worked the same job, and kept the same circle of friends. One day, he realized he'd spent his whole life playing it safe, never taking risks, never stepping beyond what was familiar. As he looked back, he saw all the things he could have done, but didn't, simply because he was too afraid. And he said, I wish I had the courage to live a bigger life. So ask yourself, are you living a big life, or are you playing it safe? The day your life changes is the day you decide to stop letting fear control you. You accept that, yes, you might fail, yes, things might not go exactly as planned, but you choose to try anyway, because the worst thing isn't failing. The worst thing is never trying at all. The day your life changes is also the day you embrace failure as part of the journey. You see, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Every successful person I've ever met has failed, probably more times than they've succeeded, but they didn't let failure stop them. Instead, they used it as a stepping stone, a lesson, a way to improve. So when you fail, and you will, don't see it as the end, see it as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to get better? Because that's what success is built on. Learning, growing, and pushing forward no matter what. Have you ever met someone who's always waiting for the perfect time to take action? They say, I'll start my business when the economy improves, or I'll focus on my health when work slows down, or I'll go after my goals when everything in my life is just right. You know, the type always waiting for the stars to align. But here's what I've learned, the perfect time never comes. If you wait for everything to be just right, you'll be waiting forever. The day your life changes is the day you stop waiting and start taking action. Now, why is that so important? Because life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Life keeps moving, opportunities appear, but they won't sit around waiting for you to feel prepared, to feel confident, or to have everything figured out. And here's something I've come to understand. Life rewards action, not intention, not ideas, not good thoughts, action. The day your life changes is the day you take a step forward, even if it's a small one, even if you don't have all the answers yet. And that's okay. You don't need to see the entire path to start walking. Most people get stuck because they feel like they need absolute certainty. They tell themselves, I'll start when I know exactly how it's all going to work out. But the truth is, you'll never know exactly how it will unfold. You have to move forward in faith, trusting that as you take action, the path will reveal itself. When I first met Mr. Schaff, I had no idea where that conversation would lead. I didn't know that one interaction would completely change my future, but it did because I took the first step. I listened, I applied what I learned. So if you've been sitting on an idea, a goal, a dream, waiting for the perfect moment, this is your sign. The stars don't need to align. What you need is to decide. That's the day your life changes, when you choose to act in spite of uncertainty. Now ask yourself, what's one thing in your life that you know you should be doing but have been putting off? Maybe it's a project you've been thinking about starting. Maybe it's a goal you've been afraid to commit to. Whatever it is, start today. Maybe it's a relationship that needs attention. Maybe it's your health. Whatever it is, take a moment to reflect. What's holding you back? Is it fear, a lack of clarity, or are you simply waiting for the perfect time? Here's the truth. The perfect time is now. The day your life changes is the day you recognize that the only time you truly have is right now. If you spend today waiting for tomorrow, you're giving away your most valuable resource, time. And time waits for no one. So stop delaying, stop waiting for ideal conditions, and start with what you have. As you move forward, you'll figure out the rest. Now, here's one of the most important lessons about the day your life changes. It's the day you stop making excuses. For years, I blamed everything outside of myself for why I wasn't where I wanted to be. The economy, my upbringing, my lack of connections, you name it, I blamed it. But then I had a realization. As long as I kept blaming external factors, nothing within me would change. The day your life changes is the day you stop making excuses and start taking full responsibility. Now, this isn't about self-criticism or guilt, it's about empowerment. Because the moment you take responsibility for your life is the moment you realize you have the power to change it. As long as you blame other people, circumstances, or bad luck, you're giving away your control. You're saying, I can't change because it's not up to me. But here's the truth. While you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. So ask yourself, what's an excuse I've been holding on to? What's the story I keep telling myself about why I can't succeed, why I can't move forward, why my life isn't where I want it to be? Think about that for a moment. And then ask yourself this, what if I took full responsibility? What if instead of blaming external factors, you asked, what can I do to change this? What steps can I take today? Because the moment you take ownership of your life, that's the moment everything starts to shift. Right now, that's the shift that changes everything. The day your life changes is the day you stop looking outside yourself for answers and start looking within. It's the moment you realize that no one is coming to save you. And while that may sound harsh, it's actually one of the most freeing realizations you can have. Because once you accept that you are responsible for your life, you also understand that you have the power to change it. You're not at the mercy of circumstances. You're not a victim of your environment. You are the captain of your own ship. Now, that doesn't mean the journey will be easy. Growth is challenging, change is uncomfortable. But you know what's harder? Staying stuck. Waking up every day knowing you're not living up to your potential. And the pain of regret is far worse than the pain of discipline. So if you're going to experience pain, and let's be honest, we all will at some point, choose the pain that leads to growth. Choose the discomfort of responsibility. Choose the challenge of stepping outside your comfort zone, because that pain is temporary, but the rewards, they last. Another crucial shift happens the day you stop comparing yourself to others. This is a big one. Too many people get caught up in what everyone else is doing. They see someone else's success, someone else's journey, and suddenly they feel like they're falling behind. But here's what you need to remember. You are on your own path. Your journey is unique. It's not supposed to look like anyone else's. The day your life changes is the day you stop measuring your progress against others and start focusing entirely on your own growth. Why is this important? Because when you constantly compare yourself to others, you'll always feel like something is missing. There will always be someone who seems to be doing better in some area of life. But what you don't see is their struggle. You don't see the failures, the setbacks, the sacrifices they've made to get where they are. And even if they are ahead in some ways, so what? That has nothing to do with your journey. Focus on your growth, your progress, your path. Because the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. Here's the truth I've come to understand. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. The day your life changes is the day you decide that your competition isn't the person next to you, it's the person staring back at you in the mirror. If you focus on being even slightly better today than you were yesterday, and even better tomorrow than you are today, you're winning. So ask yourself, where in your life have you been caught up in comparisons? How has that been holding you back? What if you redirected all that energy toward your own progress instead? Because here's the thing, comparison is the thief of joy. It steals the satisfaction of your journey. But when you focus on your own growth, when you measure your progress against yourself, that's when real fulfillment happens. And that brings me to something else. Stop chasing success. Start focusing on contribution. I know that might sound counterintuitive, especially in a world that constantly tells us to chase success, go after our dreams, get ahead. But here's the reality. Success isn't something you chase, something you attract by the person you become and the value you provide to others. The day your life changes is the day you realize it's not just about you, it's about what you can give. Because here's the truth. The more value you bring to the world, the more success will come your way. The more you contribute to the lives of others, the more your own life will improve. I've seen this firsthand. Some of the most successful people I know don't ask, how can I get more? They ask, how can I give more? They understand that their success is simply a byproduct of their contribution. And the day you start thinking the same way is the day everything shifts. When you stop asking, what's in it for me, and start asking, how can I make a difference? That's when real success and fulfillment start flowing into your life. Years ago, I met a man who had built a successful business. At first, his focus was on making money, and while he did okay, he wasn't truly thriving. Then one day he had a shift in his mindset. He realized that if he wanted to grow his business, he needed to focus on providing more value to his customers. Instead of worrying about his bottom line, he started asking, how can I serve my customers better? How can I help them solve their problems? And that's when everything changed. And the result, his business exploded. Why? Because when you provide value, people respond. When you focus on serving, success naturally follows. So ask yourself, where in your life can you contribute more? Where can you bring more value to others? Maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your relationships, maybe it's in your community, whatever it is. The day your life changes is the day you shift your focus from getting to giving. And here's something else that happens on that day. The day your life changes is the day you start focusing on what you can control and stop worrying about what you can't. So many people waste energy stressing over things completely outside of their control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions, but none of that is in your hands. What is in your hands? Your response, your effort, your attitude, your choices. The day your life changes is the day you stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start focusing on what you can do. You can't control the economy, but you can control the value you bring to the marketplace. You can't control what other people think of you, but you can control how much effort you put into becoming the best version of yourself. Now think about this. What's something in your life that you've been stressing over, but that's outside of your control? What would happen if you let go of that stress and shifted your focus to what you can do right now with what you have? That's a powerful shift. And when you make it, your whole perspective changes. Because the day your life changes is the day you realize that most of life is about perspective. It's about how you choose to see things. You can choose to see challenges as obstacles, or you can choose to see them as opportunities for growth. You can choose to see setbacks as failures, or you can choose to see them as lessons. You can choose to see life as something happening to you, or you can choose to see it as something happening for you. That shift in perspective, that's when everything changes. Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So ask yourself, how are you seeing your life right now? Are you seeing it through the lens of limitation, or are you seeing it through the lens of possibility? The day your life changes is the day you choose to see life as a series of opportunities waiting for you to step into. And let me leave you with this. The day your life changes, it's not a one-time event. It's a decision you make every single day. Every day you have the choice to act, to grow, to take responsibility, to contribute, to become better than you were yesterday. Every day you can choose to make today the day your life changes. So what will you choose today